There's something most people assume about the human body. They believe that if something harmful enters it, the body will naturally take care of it, that it will filter it out, remove it, reset itself back to normal. And for a long time in human history, that assumption was mostly true. The human body evolved in an environment where exposure was limited, where the air was cleaner, the food was simpler, and the number of foreign substances entering the system was relatively low. The body had time, it had space, it had recovery cycles that were not constantly interrupted. But today, that environment no longer exists, and your body is still operating like it does. What has changed is not just one thing. It is the accumulation of many small exposures happening constantly, every single day. You are not exposed to one large toxic event. You are exposed to small, repeated inputs from air, water, food, materials, and even the environment around you. Individually, none of them feel alarming. You breathe air, you drink water, you eat food, you live your life. But your biology does not measure exposure in isolated moments. It measures load over time. And when that load never truly resets, the system begins to operate differently. Your body has natural processing systems designed to handle unwanted substances. The liver plays a major role in breaking things down. The kidneys filter waste through fluid balance. The digestive system helps eliminate a large portion of what the body does not need. Even sweat plays a small role in overall regulation. When all of these systems are functioning smoothly, you don't feel them working. Everything happens quietly in the background, and you feel stable, clear, and energized without thinking about it. But when the overall load increases beyond what the system is used to, something subtle begins to happen. Not failure, not breakdown, but reduced efficiency. The liver does not stop working. The kidneys do not shut down. The gut does not completely stop functioning. Instead, each system begins to operate under more pressure than it was originally designed for in a natural environment. And when that pressure is consistent, the baseline of how you feel begins to shift. This is where most people misunderstand what is happening in their body. They expect problems to be obvious. They expect illness to show up clearly. But biological systems rarely fail suddenly. They drift, slowly, quietly, over time. You don't wake up one day completely different. You slowly stop feeling as sharp as you used to. You slowly start feeling more tired, more foggy, more emotionally flat, more physically drained, without a clear explanation. And because there is no single moment that feels wrong, most people dismiss it as normal life. Stress, aging, busyness. But underneath that assumption, something else is happening. The system is still functioning, but it is no longer functioning at full capacity. One of the most important players in this entire process is the liver. The liver is responsible for processing and breaking down a wide range of substances the body encounters. But like any system, it has limits. It is not designed for infinite load. When demand is consistently high, the processing becomes less efficient, not because the liver is damaged, but because it is constantly working without full recovery cycles. And when recovery is reduced, performance adjusts accordingly. The gut plays another critical role that most people underestimate. It is not just a digestion system. It is also a major pathway of elimination and regulation. A large portion of what the body processes eventually moves through this system. But when gut balance is disrupted, whether through stress, lifestyle patterns, or long-term dietary inconsistency, the communication between digestion and elimination becomes less precise. Signals become less stable, and when signals become unstable, the entire system feels less predictable. At the same time, modern life introduces a completely different challenge that did not exist in the same way before. Exposure is no longer occasional. It is constant. It comes from the environment you live in, the materials around you, the food systems you interact with, and the invisible particles that exist in modern infrastructure. None of these are experienced as a single overwhelming event. They are experienced as a continuous background load that never fully stops. And this is where the body begins to adapt in a way most people do not notice. It does not shut down. It does not break. Instead, it adjusts its baseline. What used to feel like normal energy starts to feel slightly lower. What used to feel like clear thinking starts to feel slightly slower. What used to feel like stable recovery starts to feel incomplete. You still function, but the quality of that function is different. This is why so many people today describe the same feeling in different words. They say they are tired even after sleeping. They say they feel foggy even when they are not sick. They say they feel off even when all their basic health markers seem fine. And the reason is not a single toxin or a single cause. It is the combined effect of long-term system load interacting with a body that is still trying to operate under older expectations of balance. The real issue is not that the body has stopped working. The real issue is that it is working continuously without the same recovery conditions it evolved to expect. And when recovery is incomplete, performance becomes inconsistent. So the question is no longer, what is wrong with my body? The deeper question becomes, is my body still operating under the conditions it was designed for? Because once you understand that mismatch, everything else starts to make sense. The fatigue, the brain fog, the lack of clarity, the slow recovery, they are not isolated problems. They are signals from a system that is still functioning, but no longer fully aligned with the environment it is living in. And that is the part most people never think about. Not that the body is broken, but that the environment has changed faster than the system inside